Hi everyone, my name is Erin, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a book and an author that you have seen all over BookTube. This is A Darker Shade of Magic, and the author is V.E. Schwab. Everyone's heard of her. Like, if you haven't, crawl out from under your rock. You may not have read her, but she is big and everyone's talking about her. I put off reading it because, number one, I thought it was young adult. I don't believe it is. I mean, maybe, but it's not specifically young adult, I don't think. It's just this fantastic fantasy. I was probably less than an hour into it when I started falling in love with it. And I was probably less than 2 hours into it when I told my husband that he's gonna have to listen to it or read it because it's that good. I was surprised because often when a book starts getting that much hype and everyone's talking about it, and it's just, everyone's talking about the author, the book, it's just amazing, oh my god, you wouldn't believe it, it's life-changing, and I don't like it. In this case, I dreaded that. I started listening to it at night, because I will listen to an audiobook before bed, and I'm like, you know what, I'll give it a try. If it puts me to sleep, it puts me to sleep. That's my goal. It didn't put me to sleep. It kept me up. I actually had to switch. So after the first half hour, I want to read more. I want to listen to more. I need to listen to more. And I'm like, I can't listen to more because then I will never sleep tonight. I will be done this entire book by the time I go to work tomorrow, and I will be tired and grumpy, and I'll have not gotten zero sleep. The book follows two main characters. We've got Kel, who is of somewhat questionable integrity. Don't know his entire backstory. I still don't know. I still don't think I know his entire backstory. And he is our main character. He's a member of the royal family, sort of, but you get the feeling that there's something there, that he's not completely a member of the royal family. But he also travels to other Londons. He travels to Grey London, and he also talks about White London and Black London. So there's these different Londons, and that is how these four different worlds are joined. They all have a London. Now, London doesn't even necessarily have to be identical, because in White London, the palace is in a different place than it is in Red London. But, and even the countries, like in one of the Londons, you know, there's Scotland and England, and the world is our world. But in another London, they don't, like, English seems to be a language that's for the elite, for royals, for, you know, those people, the 1%ers or whatever you want to call them, and the rest, the poor people, speak a different language, and the country isn't called the United Kingdom, and what is the United Kingdom is part of a bigger country that encompasses more of Europe. So it's really that geography part is quite interesting. But in this is the first book in the series. It's about 400 pages, and you really get a good introduction to the world and the magic and how everything relates and how people relate. And you also start to understand that Kel, as a magic user, is extremely limited. Like he's not limited. He's a limited edition. There aren't a lot of magic users anymore. At some point in the past, Black London has done something, and it caused them to shut down all contact with Black London. Like, Black London cannot, there's wards, you cannot leave Black London anymore, but magic users can still travel between grey, white, and red Londons, and only magic users. And a lot of people don't even, the regular Joes on the street don't actually know that there's these other Londons. Our second character that we meet is Lila, or Delilah, and she is a pickpocket, she's a thief, she's this fantastic character that I loved because she is a girl given a lot of characteristics that have traditionally been given to boys. She's like I said, she's a fantastic pickpocket, she's a thief, she's very sneaky, she's very, she's great at disguise. She's got this attitude and personality that I loved her through the book. She was my favorite character, and if I was going to, chuckle quietly to myself while listening to this book, it was Delilah that caused it. At the same time, there's a lot of emotional scenes, there's a lot of things going on. V.E. Schwab is not afraid to torture her characters. And I find that there's a lot of authors in fantasy who do this really well. They aren't afraid to throw everything and the kitchen sink at their character to make them stronger, to show what they can get through, and to test who they are. And that happened in this book. Both Kel and Lila have to go beyond what they would normally do because of the situation that they're in and the circumstances that happen to them. There is a lot of court politics in this and all of that fun stuff that you get in a fantasy. There's no fae specifically, but there's definitely royalty, and each of the Londons is very distinct. Like, we don't end up with, oh, it's basically the same. No, it's not. Grey London is very gritty, and what you would like, and Grey London is a great descriptor of it. Grey, the London of Grey London is, it's grey, it's dirty, it's, you know, pickpockets and thieves and that. And then there's Red London, which is very benevolent. The leaders, like, I mean, the palace is extremely fancy, right? I mean, it's opulent. But at the same time, it's not opulent at the expense of the people that live in that London and in that country. It seems to be that the wealth is shared. I mean, yes, there's still the poor people on the fringes of society, but unlike Grey London, it's very much, the wealth seems to be spread around more. Yet the royal family is still extremely wealthy as well. And then White London, so these are the three Londons we get to see in this book. White London is I found it very stark, and it goes with what's happening in each of, like, when Kel and Lila are in those Londons, the London almost reflects the experiences that they're going through. So I loved that part of it. V.E. Schwab has fantastic language. You just kind of fall into it. And the narrator for this was fantastic as well. So I'm listening to this and I felt like I was completely immersed in the story right from the beginning. The narrator's perfect. The audiobook is amazing. And it's going to be a 5-star book for me. It's absolutely one of my favorites of the year. I was in the middle of listening to it when I placed my book outlet order, and I ordered the next book from Book Outlet, even though I may actually listen to it on audiobook before Book Outlet gets that book to me, but there's a good chance I might actually reread this series on paper after listening to the audiobooks, because I've fallen in love with the characters and the world and the writing. And I am extremely surprised that I did. So if you've been putting off reading V.E. Schwab, she's got another series. So this is a trilogy of 3 books, the Shadow of Magic series? I can't remember what the series name is. But if you've been putting off reading it, or the Vicious series that she also has out, don't. I would absolutely pick it up and read it if you like fantasy, because this book is, even if you don't like fantasy, because it's not swords and sorcery kind of fantasy. I think it's a little tamer. It's a good entry-level fantasy book. It's a lot more focused on character than it is on, like, and I'm interested to see what happens, because the end of book 1 is just, it just left me sitting there going, oh no, I need book 2 now. But I've got a bunch of other audiobooks that I need to read, so I won't be getting to that right away. Have you read A Darker Shade of Magic? If you have, what did you think of it? Like, am I completely off base? Did I miss something in my review? Like, let me know, because I know I've been reading a lot of mysteries and stuff lately, so it's been nice to get back into fantasy too, which is part of maybe why I liked it so much. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this book. Thank you again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. You guys are the best. Have a great night. Bye.